Hello, I am Corinne. I felt like I was about to be like Kirk Franklin. It's your boy. No, I'm Corinne. Some people know me as Miss Terry. Some people know me as Miss K. Some people know me as Minister Corinne. I am all of those things, and more. And so I'm excited to share this journey and share content about whatever God is asking me to do. I definitely know that it will be a lot of sitting and talking, but also some sharing ideas of youth ministry things that I have that I've been planning, and maybe some teacher things, but a lot of life things. Showing you how I'm walking through life while juggling all of these things. And if there are requests for me to focus in on one thing, sure, fine. But also, this thing is difficult, and it's difficult particularly for our generation because the people who are ministers and preachers who are a little bit older did not have to go through the things that we had to go through in terms of social media. And I think that it's important for people who are younger to go ahead and start getting ready to become and continue to work in the field of ministry. And so that is what I'm here to do, simply because God asked me, no other reason. So I'm excited, I'm nervous, but I know that God has me, so it'll be okay. So. Okay, so this is weird. This is my second time trying to do this because the first time it was very awkward. I don't know what I'm doing for real. Getting ready for a birthday party and a church event. Figured if I'm doing my nails, maybe it'll give me something to do and it'll be a little less awkward. But of course you can't see me doing my nails, so this will be really interesting. I've already buffed my nails. I got this from Amazon. I'm not doing a tutorial because I'm just doing what I do. These are press-ons from Amazon, I think. I don't know. So I wanted to quickly share what happened to me or what's been happening to me. So I am preparing for a bunch of things. So I can tell that there's a shift happening, and God is definitely preparing me for things. ADHD. I went and put makeup on. Anyway, share quick story time of what has been happening. So I've been working on making sure, oh, those are the nails that we're gonna do. I've been working on making sure that like I'm doing better with my whole obedience type thing, because I used to be very obedient, and then God told me to do something really big, and I was like, be upset after I did what he asked me to do. And so since then, like when God would tell me to do stuff, I'd be like, okay, but like it would be delayed, and that's still very disobedient. And so I have been trying to rebuild that, making sure that I am being obedient and being obedient like in time. And so God had asked me to stop eating out, and I don't feel like I eat out a lot, but I do get very lazy, and I'll just be like, I don't feel like cooking, so I'm going to go get me some food somewhere else. Somebody has already prepared food for me, so I'm just gonna go get their food. And then God was like, stop doing that. Don't do that anymore. And so I listened at first, and then it got hard. I'm trying to decide how much I'm gonna share because but there was a season where I had I don't know what it's called, but it's like when you like create your own type of eating disorder, and that's what I was doing. So my excuse was, well, I need to eat, so I'm gonna go eat. And but God was very clear about it, like don't eat out anymore. I said, okay. I said, well, I'm out right now because I had I had Bible study, and I didn't want to drive all the way back home. Back home is 15 minutes though, so it's really not that deep, but I didn't want to drive back home. So I went and I got a meal from McDonald's. I was like, I need to eat, but I want to make sure that, God is cool with it, right? So I was like, God, can I just go get me some McDonald's real quick? It's just real quick, nothing too crazy. I'm just going to go get me some McDonald's. Is that okay? And I didn't hear nothing back. So I was like, all right, I'm going to take that as a yes. I got my food. My fries were disgusting. It was cold. They were cold. They weren't salted. I was like, this is weird. This is gross. And then I bit into my sandwich. My sandwich was nasty. And McDonald's is very, calculated. It tastes the same every time. Unless you get, a coffee. And then, you have to choose which McDonald's you're going to for that. That was the most big back statement. Well, I was getting, a regular meal. So I was like, it's going to be fine. And no, it was nasty. And then last night, I was like, I don't feel like cooking. I know I need to eat. I haven't eaten in a while. I need to eat something. So I was like, okay, well, I can get me a pizza. I was like, God, what about a pizza? Can I do a pizza? One pizza a month. I feel like that's a fair trade. Again, I didn't hear anything. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go get this pizza. I ordered the pizza. First of all, I had a deal on the pizza, and the pizza was only $15. And then I was like, but it wouldn't let me pay for it. And I was so confused. I was like, why wouldn't it let me pay for the pizza? And then, because nothing was wrong with my card. It didn't say anything was wrong with my card. It just said, that the payment wouldn't go through. And I was like, okay, that's weird. And so then I got a different pizza that was more expensive, and the payment went through. I was annoyed. But I was like, all right, it's fine. It's whatever. It's my pizza for the month. It'll be all right. The delivery guy comes to the door, and he was like, I already told my wife that you was going to be upset as soon as you got this pizza. And I was like, what's wrong with the pizza? It's cool. We cool. No big deal. Opens up the box, and the box is the box is opened. And I was like, okay. But I the fact that you said that you thought I was going to be upset, makes me feel like I can trust you. So I was like, yeah, it's okay. He was like, no. Open the box. So I open up the box, and the pizza is flipped over, turned upside down. And I was like, why my pizza look like this? I was like, oh no. And he was like, yeah. So you can call them, and I will come bring you another pizza. But he said, I took a picture of it, and I just needed them to know I didn't do it, but I also had to bring the pizza to you on time. So that's what we're doing. So I said, okay, no big deal. I'll call them. I call, and my phone goes do. We're sorry. The phone number that you have dialed. And I was like, what? No. This is the number that's on the website. The phone number is not incomplete. Please be for real. I call 3 or 4 different times, and it's not working. So I go to the email where it says file a complaint or something like that. And so I do that, and it says, it asks me what happened with my order and all that other stuff. So I fill out the little questionnaire thing, and then it says, we'll get back to you. What number do you want us to get back to you with, and all that other stuff. I still haven't heard anything. And I don't think I'm getting my money back on that pizza. And I chucked it up as, that's you being disobedient, because you heard God clearly and you still decided to do what you wanted to do. And just because you didn't hear a response doesn't mean that God is cool with whatever you just decided in your mind that you wanted to do. The two don't go together. But I was like, yeah. And this is after okay, so I'm a teacher. It's the end of the school year. I am exhausted. When I say I don't feel like cooking, it's not just I was just being lazy today. No, I am exhausted. I am tired mentally, physically. And not only am I a teacher, but I'm also a minister at my church. and I'm over the youth ministry at my church, and it's a lot, and I'm tired. I'm so tired. And so I was like, Lord, like, I'm doing all these things for you. Like, can we like find a happy medium? Like, can we come together and agree on something? No, no. I went to Bible study. Um, the minister was talking about, who's also my cousin, was talking about how it's not about you. And that's what did he say? It's a form of not vain. What's another word for vain? But it's a form of like of entitlement that you feel like it, like you also have to play a part, and that you should also like, no. No, it's not. And it's not about me, and I recognize that. I think for me, I feel like because I'm putting so much into this, and especially because I'm younger, I don't see a whole lot of other people my age doing these things, and that also makes me feel a little weird. Like, I just saw on TikTok the other day, somebody said, oh, if they say they're a minister, that's a red flag. I'm done for it. Like, what am I supposed to do? I'm done for it. And I don't really know why. I mean, no, I don't. I don't know why. I don't understand that logic. Like, why? I don't know. I don't know. And for a while, I didn't tell people that I was a minister. I kept that to myself. If you at my church, you know I'm a minister. And even some of the people at my church don't know I'm a minister. Like, the kids that I work with, I know a lot of them don't know that I'm a minister. In Bible study one time, and our pastor was like, oh, Minister Corinne can tell you. And one of the youth was like looking around like, who is Minister Corinne? Like, literally looking around. And I said, girl, it's me. It's me, baby. I'm so sorry nobody told you. It's me. But I don't want anybody to feel like I'm not relatable because I'm a minister. And I don't want people to think that I am better than them or understand God in a deeper way than they do. Like, no. I'm still figuring out God just like you are. I don't think anybody has God totally figured out. Like, nobody. I don't think there's anybody that has God totally figured out. There are people who understand the pattern of God, and I think are learning to understand God in that capacity. But we're all still figuring out God. But I just don't want anybody to think that I consider myself higher than they are because of the title. The title means absolutely nothing if God is not glorified. And if I'm thinking in that capacity, God is definitely not being glorified. So, but I'm just very like, I try to be very intentional about how I operate so that people don't assume that. But then also, I have my own insecurities about being a minister, because sometimes I'm like, maybe like there are people who think that I'm not like qualified because I don't feel like I'm qualified to minister people or anything like that. Then it's like certain comments about like what I like, I don't know. There will be like small comments about what I wear, and that makes me like rethink everything. Cause I don't think that I am a very like, I don't know, I don't dress very provocatively, but there are like, I have a body. I'm not gonna lie, I do. And so there are, if I wear certain things, you're gonna see that I have a body. And I battle with that because I have worked too hard to number one, be confident in my body because of situations that have happened. Some people make the comments that, oh, it's like if you wear these things, then you're inviting that kind of energy and that kind of person to like infiltrate your space, and that's not fair either. Yeah, I just went on a rant, which yeah is very much on brand for me. HD a little bit, and then it's just my personality also. When I was in high school, this guy used to call them Karants. And I didn't know that until like later on. But he was like, yeah, we would call them Karants, like when you would go on like a real big, and I would go in and I would talk about things like, and they would just be laughing and stuff. But I would be very serious, like going on these rants after school about anything and everything. I just did. The moral of the story is that it's important to be obedient for the sole reason that God has just asked you to do it. I think a lot of people try to make it seem like, oh, if you obey God, you'll get this, this, and that. And that is true. But that's just like, that should just be the cherry on top. We should, at the very like surface level, bare minimum. We talk about bare minimum people in relationships, but like for us as followers of Christ, or as people who follow Christ and decide to live a life that is pleasing of God, our job is to also make sure that we are obeying God simply because he asked us to do it. Like when we were younger, I don't know how y'all grew up, but when I was younger, like if my mom asked me to do something, if somebody asked why, the answer would be because I said so. And that would be it. And even though for some people that did not answer the question at all, but she knows something that I don't know. And so my job is just to listen to what she's asked me to do and trust that because she asked me to do it, there will be a better outcome for me than for me to just not be obedient to what she asked me to do. And the same thing goes with God. Like our job is to simply obey him just because he said so, and not because we think we're going to get something out of it, or to even think that we think better than what he does. And I'm not saying that I think that I know better than God, because that's not true at all. But I think that because of the brokenness that I was left with after I did obey, there is a sense of, what if I get hurt again? And for me, I'm learning that, what if you get hurt again? And are you going to trust that God is going to bring you out like he's already done? Because I'm already on the other side of it. I'm fine. Like I'm not falling apart. I'm in therapy. I have people around me. I have a circle. I have a good church home. Like I was broken in the most, like that Tasha Cobbs song says, like I've broken in the most graceful way. Bro, God put me in a position to be around people so that when I did break, I could break around good people who could be there for me. And it was a soft landing. And I thank God for that often. And so I should have that same trust. I also was thinking about, for a long time, I couldn't stand when people said, like, would repeat the scripture, obedience is better than sacrifice. Because what does that mean? Like, do you know what that means when you're saying that? Are you just saying that to like try to make yourself feel better about the situation? Because I don't feel better. You just said obedience is better than sacrifice, but for me, obedience is sacrifice. And that was confusing to me until I went in my Bible like the biblical scholar that I am. Okay, because we should all become biblical scholars, because learn about the God that you serve so that you can serve him in the best way and you can get a lot out of it too. So I went to my Bible and trying to figure out like the context of the scripture and what is happening. It's Samuel and Saul, okay? It's 1 Samuel 15. I would go around verse 17. You really, when you're trying to figure out the context of scripture, start at the beginning of the chapter, at the very least. If you were really trying to get into it, read a chapter before and read a chapter after. But at the very least, start at the beginning of the chapter. But for the context of this, in that actual verse 22, is when it's talking about obedience is better than sacrifice. But then 23 says rebellion is as sinful as witchcraft and stubbornness, and as bad as worshiping idols. So because you have rejected the command of the Lord, he has rejected you as king. Okay. Just do what God asks you to do. Stop playing around. Stop. Be so for real. Stop playing. Just do what he asks you to do. And don't be stubborn. Don't be funny about it. Do what he asks you to do when he asks you to do it. And then it's going to be okay. That was my point of the story. I'm going to go now. I'm going to go get ready for the rest of the day. And I hope that you have a beautiful day.